Liliana. Hi Liliana, it's Yaya. I was missing you this April 2013, so I thought I'd record me reading one of your favorite stories, Goodnight Moon. Go get your book and go get Goodnight Moon Bunny too and follow along. Before we start, remember to see if you can find the mouse on the pictures of the room. And what is Bunny looking at? What is he saying goodnight to? Do you think he understands? I know you understand. Let's start. Goodnight Moon by Margaret Wise Brown. Pictures by Clement Hurd. Harper & Row Publishers. This is an old copy. This was your daddy and Aunt Renee and Uncle Brian's copy. You might have a different publisher on your book. In the great green room, this is green, there was a telephone and a red balloon. There's the red balloon. And a picture of, before we turn the page, let's look carefully at this page. Where's the mouse? There he is, next to the wood basket. What's Bunny saying goodnight to? What's that? Telephone, that's right. And what time is it on the clock? It's 7 o'clock. The hour hand's pointing to the 7 and the minute hand's pointing straight up. That means it's 7 o'clock. The cow jumping over the moon. He's going over. And there were 3 little bears sitting on chairs. Count with me. 1, 2, 3. And 2 little kittens, 1, 2, and a pair of mittens, there they are, and a little toy house, here's the house, and a young mouse, there's the mouse. Let's see what else we can see in this book. Where are the books? There's all the books, aren't they? So many books to read. What else is that? What is that? Moon, that's right, say moon. The moon's playing peekaboo with us. Let's see what time it is on the clock. Now it's 10 minutes after 7. Let's see what happens to the moon as the time changes on the clock. And a comb, and a brush, and a bowl full of mush. There's the mush. And a quiet old lady who was whispering, hush, hush. Here she is. Uh-oh, she's dropped her ball of yarn. What do you think's going to happen with that ball of yarn on the floor? Oh, look! The kittens are playing with the ball of yarn. That ball of yarn is a happy thing to have, isn't it? Getting all tangled up. They're just going, woo, where's it going? Oh! Connected to her knitting. Good night, room. See, the bunny's just looking in the room. What else do we see before we turn the page? Let's look. Well, the moon's getting higher. It's getting bigger. It's still playing peekaboo with us, isn't it? What time is it, though? It's now 20 minutes after 7. Do you think that's why the moon is rising? Because the time has changed, hasn't it? Where's that mouse? There he is. Good night, moon. There's the moon. This is a round moon, like a circle. It's called a full moon. But the other moon is a crescent moon. This one is different, isn't it? It's still a moon, but this painting was done at a different time of the month. So this is a crescent shape. It's only showing part of the moon. Good night, cow jumping over the moon. It's going over, isn't it? You can find crescent shapes all over the place. My favorite is crescent-shaped cookies. Good night, light. And the red balloon. There it is. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Look at that lamp. See? It has the light's coming out of the top and the bottom of it. It's kind of shaded here. It's a little bit of a shadow. The shade makes a little shadow. What else makes a shadow? Remember when we walked around the pond at Genalia? I told you everything made a shadow. The trees make a shadow. Red Nessie made a shadow. Here, the table's making a shadow. See? It's a little round shadow here, a little circle. Because this table is not glass. If it was glass, the light would shine through it and there wouldn't be a shadow. But this is a solid table. And the light can't pass through solids. What's Bunny looking at? Bunny's, look, saying goodnight to the bears in the chairs, isn't he? Oh, and look at the moon is higher. It's now 7:30. It's getting later. It's getting darker outside. Good night, kittens. And good night, mittens. You put mittens on your hands in the winter and when it's snowy outside, don't you? Liliana didn't like to keep her mittens on. We lost one and then we had to take turns which hand we'd wear it. Good night, clocks. And good night, socks. Where are your socks? Are you wearing socks today or are you wiggling your toes like Yaya? Look at the moon's getting higher now. It's just a little bit behind the window. And it's 7:40. It's getting later. Where is that mouse on this page? Oh, there's the mouse. And what's Bunny looking at? What's he saying goodnight to? Looks like he's looking this way. What's over this way? Socks! Remember we were saying goodnight to the socks on this page. Good night, little house. You don't live in a house. You live in an apartment. You used to live in apartment 311. Now you live in apartment 408. And good night, mouse. There's the mouse. I can't make my paper page squeak like you can make your board book page squeak. Good night, comb. Remember, Upco showed you how to comb his hair, didn't he? And good night, brush. You can brush Yaya's hair. See what's Bunny saying good night to? He's saying good night to the comb and the brush, isn't he? Look, that's where he's looking. Good night, nobody. There's nothing there. That's a silly page, isn't it? There's nothing there. They tricked us. We thought they were going to say, good night, mush. There's the mush. Do you have mush for breakfast sometimes? And you eat it all up. It's yummy, yummy, yes. And good night to the old lady whispering hush. There she is. Whispering hush. It's getting dark in this page now, isn't it? Look how high the moon is. And where's that mouse? There's the mouse. He's by the bowl of mush. Do you think the mouse is hungry? I wonder. What do you think? And the clock says 8 o'clock now. Is that why the moon is higher? It's getting later. Let's see what happens. Good night, stars. Good night, air. See, someone scribbled on this book. Normally, we don't write in books. Good night, noises everywhere. Let's see what happens. See, the moon is full now. It's not hiding behind the window. It's a big, full, round circle. And the clock, you can barely see it. It's 10 after 8. And look, there's the mouse looking out the window at the stars. And Bunny's all tucked in under his covers, and he has his eyes closed now. It's time for you to close your eyes, too, and go to sleep, because now we're at the end of the book. Good night, Liliana. I love you.